You guys want to hear a story? No. My name is Will, and I am a drug addict. And it sucks. And I've got a headache. And I've had it for about 24 years now. No shit. You know, the first time you take a painkiller, an opiate, I've always described it when it did kick in that it felt like the sun was inside of my chest. You know how anxiety makes you feel like your stomach's like not raw, but or not empty, but hollow. You know, that hollow, I don't know what's gonna happen, uncomfortable feeling. So imagine that being replaced with golden, radiating, warm sunlight. Sounds pretty interesting, right? Yeah, well, it did to me too. And I was only in the 9th grade. And the thing is, I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Literally, like the night before, I was in the 9th grade, so I was a freshman in high school. So the night before, I had watched this movie called, I don't want to name the movie just in case, but in the movie, the kid goes and he sees a therapist, and the therapist puts him on medication, and I don't even really remember exactly what it's about anymore, but I just remember that the kid in this movie is taking medicine from a bottle of orange pills, and it kind of made it look like not sexy, but cool in a way, you know, like, again, I was a freshman, and I had no understanding of, you know, pharmacology or why people would be taking certain prescription medications. I just saw an orange prescription bottle, fun, or not fun at that point, but danger, and I was interested in danger at this point. Let's put it that way. So my father had torn his rotator cuff, and they had prescribed him painkillers, and I was walking out the door. I had watched the movie the night before. Now in the morning, I'm walking out the door to go to school. And lo and behold, excuse this insane haircut I have right now. Lo and behold, I see a bottle of orange pills on the table. And so I'm just like, screw it. See what happens. So I just pop open the cap, take 2 or 3, bada bing, out the door. Really, truly didn't expect anything to come of it. Didn't really even remember doing it. You know, I'd say halfway by the time I got to school, I'd already forgotten that I had done this. So now I'm sitting in homeroom, and which is the very first class of the day, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, man, I'm in a really good mood. Like, I've never been in such a good mood as this. You know, I'm still not connecting what I'd done and why I'm feeling this way. So I'm trying to run through all these things. Yeah, I got like a decent sleep last night, and this and that, but why am I feeling this, like, completeness? And then I went, oh, it's those pills. And as soon as that connection happened, I knew that I was going to have a lifelong struggle with these things, because it felt way too good to not be for someone like me to be like, well, that was fun, let's go on with life. Immediately what my brain did was, when I get home, I gotta, come up with a plan to get more. Immediately. No second questions on that. And so, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I don't think I think a lot of people don't understand how heavy that synthetic opiate feeling is, let alone like fentanyl and all the crazy stuff they have nowadays. This is back when it was like actual street drugs. It wasn't just Chinese synthesized crap. So what it did for me was, if you remember earlier, I was explaining that feeling of anxiety, the pit in your stomach kind of feeling, that emptiness. If you can imagine that slowly and calmly being replaced with a glowing, radiant light that emits happiness and euphoria and calmness and total self-reliance and no, everything's okay. And I never felt like that before. I'd always wanted to feel like that. That was the first time, and probably truly one of the only times that the taking the drug was better than I could have. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but let's see. So, So I started looking around for someone to buy these pills off of, because at the time I'm getting them from my dad's medicine cabinet. And for one thing, I don't want to keep stealing the poor guy's pills. He needs them, So I feel horrible and guilty already about it. But again, and I'm not even addicted at this point, but I'm like, I need those. I need to feel, So I knew I had to find somebody that's buying them. So there was this kid in my high school, I won't name his name, and if he ever does get around to listening to this, you'll know who you are. And I hear you're doing really well, and I saw your brother recently, and I'm really happy for you and for all that kind of stuff, man. So that's great. But and so no hard feelings. But this is funny the way it went down. So I go to him, I'm like, oh hey man, can you get me 3 of these pills that my dad had? He's like, well, they're not exactly those type, but it's something like it. And at the time, I had no clue about any of this stuff. So we come up with some sort of price for 3 pills. I'm like, okay. And he goes, whatever you do, don't take these at school. So he must have known he was ripping me off. But again, what do you do? I'm like, yeah, I got you. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, I gotta try one just to make sure they're legit. I mean, come on. So I try one. Take it. And this is about 3 weeks after I had taken the original pill. So I've been just taking stuff from my dad, and, here and there since then. And so, I'm in a math class or something like that, and all of a sudden everything just starts, when you're drunk and the room starts spinning. Well, it was like that, but in slow motion, and also like vertically, and just all right, like a globe, like oh man, something's not good here. And I can't keep my head from falling to the desk. I'm not like nodding out, but I'm just like, my body's not working. My body's not working. So, and then I feel like I had to puke and super lightheaded and sweating, like just intense sweating. And I know, of course, it's because I've just taken this drug that I don't really know what it is. I have 2 more in my pocket, or in the locker, I think. I'm like, this is a bad spot to be. Already people around me are like, what the hell is going on with this kid? So I stand up, I stagger up, and I do that right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. I finally get to the desk. I'm literally like as pale as like this sweatshirt I'm wearing. And the teacher just looks up and goes, "Oh my God, what are you okay?" I go, yeah, I'm fine. I just got a real bad migraine. Maybe I gotta go see the nurse or something like that. Like, clearly I'm dying. I can't stand up straight. There's no color in my face. I was fine 5 minutes ago. I can't articulate my words. Clearly something weird is going on. And so she sends this kid, shout out to Nick, I think his name was, from high school days. He ran down and got me a wheelchair from the nurse's office, rolled it back up, and then they rolled me down to the nurse's station, and they're like, yeah, I guess you got a really bad migraine. We'll call your parents, get you out of here. I'm like, all right, cool. So, at one point, though, I had to open up my locker. And it was the nurse and like a teacher and somebody else all standing around me, and I was in the wheelchair still, so I couldn't grab things for myself. So I go, yeah, I really all I need is my backpack and this pencil case. But then I remember behind the pencil case is the other 2 pills. So I'm like, actually, you know what, I'm fine. I don't need the pencil. I can just leave the. They're like, are you sure? It's right here. I'm like, no, really. I don't. And they're like, they're almost starting to get suspicious of it at this point. How much I'm like, no, really, leave it there. And so, because I'm starting to panic, because I'm like, if they find these fucking pills, I'm so fucked. I'm probably already fucked. But now I'm like, totally fucked. And so, I just start, being a little more dramatic, being a little more sick, just, about to fall out of the chair. So finally, they just get, I get their attention off of that, but they were just about to pick it up. And I don't know if they would have seen it or not, but they would have been able to put 2 and 2 together very quickly. So I finally get to the nurse's station, and this whole time, by the way, I'm getting rolled around in a wheelchair, like looking like I'm dying. I can't stay awake. I'm like losing consciousness. My mouth is hanging open. I look like an idiot. I look like I had a lobotomy. And all my peers, all my classmates are just walking around because it's like in the middle of everyone going to different classes. Just like, hold on, I'll try and see if I can like redo the look. It's like everybody's like, what the fuck is Will doing? Is Will dying? That's literally everyone's thought as I'm rolling by. Someone's like, oh, okay, I just got a migraine. Yeah. So I get to the nurse's station, this and that. No, so I haven't taken anything. I haven't taken any drugs. I get migraines real bad. My dad finally comes and picks me up. The first thing he says to me is, goes, what the fuck did you take, man? I go, Pop, I don't want to get into it. I don't feel good. All right. Bing. So I go home. Then I go to sleep. And I stay asleep. I forget how long it was, but it was like 20 hours. If not longer. And of course my parents have been waking me up and stuff like here and there, but they were starting to get like concerned, I guess. And you know what's hilarious? And this just goes to speak for one, how stupid I am, and for two, how strong that need or that want to recreate that synthetic high that I had felt a couple weeks ago. That when I woke up, I took like a half of another pill that I still had, the same one that I got from the guy, because the two were in the locker, and then I think I had one in my pocket or something like that. But I ended up with like a half a pill. So what I do with that, as soon as I woke up, I fucking snorted it. And guess what? I went back to sleep for like another 14 hours. So, I don't know, guys. I don't even know why I'm telling you any of this. It's just, it's been a long road.